Hi, today I'll be talking about cognitive load theory and how we can use it to optimize teaching design, especially by applying the expertise reversal effect. I will share two teaching examples to show how this theory works in practice. Let's start with a brief description of cognitive load theory. It is based on how our memory processes information. First, information enters our sensor memory, then moves to working memory where we actively process it. But this stage has very limited capacity, usually only 2 to 3 items at a time. Really learning happens when information is stored in long-term memory, which has almost unlimited capacity. However, we still rely on working memory to access the stored knowledge. Now let me focus on two types of cognitive load. Some of this load comes from the complexity of the content itself. This is called intrinsic cognitive load. Another load comes from how we teach or present the material. This is extraneous cognitive load. So, if the sum of intrinsic cognitive load and extraneous cognitive load exceeds the capacity of working memory, learning will be hindered. Effective instructional design should reduce extraneous cognitive load to free up more resources for processing materials with high intrinsic cognitive load, thereby improving learning outcomes. Now, let's look at the expertise reversal effect. In many classrooms, teaching materials are one-size-fits-all, usually aimed at beginners. But as students gain more knowledge, this fixed approach can hold them back instead of helping them move forward. The expertise reversal effect shows that what works for beginners might not work for more advanced learners. It's based on cognitive load theory. Beginners need guidance to build knowledge, but for experts, too much guidance can feel redundant and slow down learning. So we can say novice and the experts experience cognitive load differently. Beginners need more support because they are still building their knowledge base, while experts can handle new info more easily and work more independently. That's why the more advanced the learner, the less detailed the instruction should be. Next, I would like to use two teaching cases in 8th grade math and history classes to illustrate how this theory is applied in the classroom. For students new to Pythagorean theorem, it can feel abstract at first. To make it more intuitive, I will show a right triangle with squares on each side. By observing, arranging, or even cutting the squares, students can see how the areas relate, making the formula feel more real. Then I guide them through a simple example to practice using the theorem. Once they've got the hang of it, I will give them problems to solve. This helps solidify their understanding practically. For students already confident with the Pythagorean theorem, basic explanation and drills don't do much. According to the expertise reversal effect, these learners benefit more from independent exploration and deeper thinking. So the goal here is to guide them in discovering how the Pythagorean theorem extended into 3D space. I will first throw out a real-life problem as a starting point, such as in a rectangular room, how to calculate the shortest distance. This question sounds simple, but it involves the exercise of the path in 3-dimensional space. With a cuboid diagram, I will promote students to recall how the theorem works in 2D. I won't give the formula up front, but will offer hints when needed, helping them stay on track without taking over. Finally, through step-by-step exercise, they can independently derive the universal formula of the Pythagorean theorem in 3-dimensional space. This process not only deepens their understanding of the original knowledge, but also improves their spatial thinking and logical reasoning abilities. The second teaching practice comes from the subject of history. The theme of this course focuses on World War II. When working with beginners, the first step is to reduce their cognitive load so they can better absorb the content. To this end, I started by showing a clear timeline of key World War II events with arrows highlighting cause and effect relationships. Then I played it a short video to bring those events to life through visuals and the narration. The mix of images, text, and motion helped keep students engaged while making the material easier to follow. Once they had a basic understanding, I gave them semi-structured questions to guide deeper insights. With a framework already in place, they could focus on making sense of historical connections rather than organizing raw information. For students with prior knowledge, too much information can be overwhelming. So instead of giving a complete timeline or map, I provided incomplete versions. Students filled in the gap using what they already knew while exploring cause and effect relationships. This shifted their focus from memorizing facts to actively connecting ideas, deepening their historical thinking. To further develop their critical thinking, I will send a challenging research question like could would to have been avoided. Students need to analyze the events from different angles and create well-reasoned arguments. I will also provide open tables to help them organize key information, filter out unnecessary details, and strengthen their reasoning. The above is my understanding of cognitive load theory, and I decided to teach practice activities based on the expertise reversal effect. The following are some of the literature I referred to in the process.